Good morning, my name is Jay Swanson, and we already did 25 essential tips to Paris in 8 minutes, which surprised me. That was really fast. So let's see if we can do that again. And 26 essential tips in 8 minutes. Starting with, you should get my guide to Paris at parisinmypocket.com. It has everything you need from where to stay, how to get around, and hundreds of restaurant recommendations all over the city so that you can make sure that no matter where you end up in Paris, you have the best time possible. Guaranteed. You know that song, Oh, Champs-Élysées? It should have been, Champs-Élysées. Like, nobody comes here, just for tourists. Parisians don't do it. Skip it. It's a strip mall with brands you can get literally anywhere in the world. However, at the top of the Champs-Élysées, of course, is the Arc de Triomphe, which is highly worth it, and actually my favorite view of the city. I think it'd be my number one. It's a great view. It's not free. I have a whole video about finding free views that I made years ago, so if you want some free views of the city, you can do that too. But for paid views, I think this might be it. General rule of thumb, if you want the photo, get there early. Don't walk in the bike lane, like right here. Bikes, it's for bikes, especially not at night. It's really dangerous. Basically, just pay attention to your surroundings at all times. Ambulances are free in Paris, so if you have an accident and somebody offers to call you an ambulance, don't say no. Don't get an Uber, don't get a taxi, don't bleed in your Uber, you'll ruin your rating. Call an ambulance. With the exception of the Eurostar, there's no security when taking the train, so just make sure you get there with enough time to find your seat, sit back, and relax. This actually kind of stinks. Why am I sitting on this? Generally speaking, it's considered impolite to eat or drink on the metro. Your metro ticket, if you get a paper ticket, won't work with the bus. So if you get out here and you try to transfer, not gonna work. It will work inside the metro system and your Navigo card or the app in your phone. If you get the IDF Mobilities app, go watch the other video I made about that. Those will transfer. The regular metro ticket won't get you all the way out to the airport. So if you're headed to Charles de Gaulle, you need to make sure that whether you have a Navigo or you're using paper tickets, which hopefully you're not really using anymore, they get you all the way to Zone 5. Otherwise, you're gonna get fined if they catch you, and you do need the ticket to get out on the other side. Special ticket for the airport, just make sure you get one. Also, stick around because I've got some tips and tricks on restaurants, including how not to get charged for water, which surprisingly gets a lot of people and you end up spending money on water you didn't want to pay for. If you happen to find yourself at a place like Frenchie, let's say, and you want to bring a bottle back, you're gonna have to check it in your luggage. You can't bring it back that easily. Or you can get it in duty free. You are allowed to get 4 bottles of wine in European airports, which is handy, but the local stuff, the good stuff, the natural wine, you're gonna have to get it in town and check it in your bag. Don't take it on your carry-on. Be sure to carry a charging cable, just the cable around with you for your phone. You never know when you're gonna need to recharge it, and you can always charge it like in a bar and restaurant or at your local bus stop. The new bus stops all have like little charging ports for your phone. Most laundromats will sell you detergent one load at a time, so you don't have to worry about buying a whole big thing of it at the grocery store, and increasingly, they're equipped with contactless payment systems. So all you have to do is hold your phone out, and what did I just pay for? If you don't have a contactless card, you're probably gonna need to bring some coins. If you like apples, I would highly recommend getting a chasson aux pommes. I'm probably not pronouncing it exactly correct, but it's basically like a roast apple or applesauce filled pastry that is a delicious concoction and often a test of a good bakery. If somebody's gonna see this in January or planning a trip in January, try the galette des rois. It's a seasonal cake, it's one of my favorites. I love it. And people often make a really big deal about finding the best baguette, the best croissant, the best whatever. Don't worry about it so much. If you don't live here and you haven't been ruined by years of eating the best delicious baguettes in the world, then every baguette you have while you're here will probably be the best baguette of your life. Don't put too much pressure on it. Just enjoy the bread you find. If you want to make sure that you get into a restaurant, it's increasingly important to make reservations, especially the trendier the restaurant. I picked this place because it's decidedly not trendy. And don't be too late because the French won't wait around long to give your table away. So make sure that you're as on time as possible, if not actually on time, be on time. Speaking of reservations, most museums require you to get tickets in advance, and actually a lot of them are scheduled time slots now. So go to their website in advance, schedule your slot, and get your ticket, because if you show up on the day, there's a really low chance you're gonna be able to get in, especially for places like the Louvre. That's the one thing you're gonna wanna plan in advance. Of course, when you leave home, don't forget your passport, your wallet, or your passwords. You're not gonna wanna write those down, obviously, because somebody could find them and steal them. You're gonna wanna use a password vault, and that's what I use. Today's sponsor, NordPass. I actually recently switched from an old password vault that was embroiled in some scandals over to NordPass, and it was incredibly easy. I just exported all my passwords, imported them, they encrypt them, no one can see them, including anyone at NordPass, all locked under one master password. The one password you do need to remember to gain access to all your passwords, so while you're traveling, you don't have to worry about, like, what if I have to log into like my bank account or that obscure e-commerce site that I forgot that I signed up for 3 years ago and they're about to renew a 3-year subscription and I don't want to pay for that. I got to log into that right now. Don't worry, your passwords will be with you with NordPass. Go to nordpass.com/JaysNordPass or use the code JaysNordPass at checkout to get 1 free month added to your subscription. And, you know, give it a try. It's been really smooth, really easy. It works across all platforms like my phone, my computer. Really like it. Anyways, don't leave home without it. Thanks to NordPass for sponsoring today's video. We gotta keep going. And make sure you stick around for that secret to make sure you get free water when you go to a restaurant and don't get charged for water that you didn't want to pay for. If you're looking for a good cup of coffee while you're here, I have a couple of videos about that, so you're gonna find a lot. But if you want tips to sussing out like good quality just at a glance, here are 3 tips. Anyone can afford a really high quality espresso machine. You can just buy these on the internet if you want. What you should be looking for, other brewing systems, filtered coffee, like a Chemex or a V60, fancy glass looking things. Like if they're used just for decoration, maybe not so much, but it can often be an indicator of good quality. The second suggestion would be to ask them who their roaster is. If they don't know, that's a bad sign. If they do know and they say Café Richard, even worse sign. Does it feel like there was intention in the design, like in the space? Does it feel like a hodgepodge of Pinterest posts, or are there wall-to-wall fake flowers literally everywhere? Intention in the design usually means intention in the coffee. A Michelin star restaurant will often have a lunch menu that's less expensive. So if you're looking for a Michelin star experience, but not the full Michelin star price, check out their lunch menu, see what they have on offer. And you might be able to get in, but remember to reserve. That reservation point came in, here, we almost didn't get in because I didn't reserve for lunch. Also, if you want to know where we're eating, you need to watch my Day in Montmartre video because it's in there and it's delicious, it's really good. This is one that still gets me to this day, but if you want service in Paris, you're going to have to call for it. So if you're already seated and at the restaurant and somebody doesn't see you, Parisian waiters are actually experts at avoiding eye contact, so you're gonna have to be persistent and get their attention, just like that. And no matter what your high school French teacher said, do not call out for garçon. Nobody says that. It's a little bit pedantic, kind of rude. Don't do that. Also, refills aren't free, so if you're a soda drinker, just be aware that you should probably slow down, because that caught me off guard when I first moved here for sure. This is not getting filled back up for free, and also, a lot of places don't even have soda. So go into it with an open mind and think, maybe try the limonade. The limonade is not lemonade, as a warning. It's more like Sprite. It's delicious and often better. And citronade is the word for lemonade, but it's gonna be a little bit more on the tart side. So just be aware, not gonna be that sweet. And if they don't bring it to the table without asking, and you need to ask, the word you're looking for is un carafe d'eau. A carafe d'eau is just a carafe, a pitcher of water. And it's how you get tap water for free. If you ask for water in some places, especially really touristy ones, they might charge you. And there are some places that do sparkling water for free, so you can ask, but generally I would assume that sparkling water is not going to be free. Thanks, of course, to this video's patron producer, Mark Copeland, and all my patrons for making this possible in the first place and getting these tips rammed in here real fast. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed all those tips to Paris. If you want more, grab my guide at parisinmypocket.com. It's overloaded with great tips and essential planning before you get here to Paris, and all the restaurants and coffee shops and bars you need while you're here. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe and go watch. I have tons of videos on visiting Paris. Go watch them all. Come on, Coop.